All right, as I said, good evening, everybody. Welcome. This is the village board meeting for the village of Willow Springs. The date is February 10th, 2022. We are conducting this meeting simultaneously by Zoom as well. The time is 7 o'clock and this meeting is called to order. Let's all please stand. I'm sorry. First, Madam Clerk Charles, please call the roll.
Trustee Ara.
Here.
Kennedy.
Here.
Micah.
Here.
Hash.
Here.
Moon.
Here.
Carr.
Here.
Nedemeyer.
Here, thank you. Now let's all please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks again. We have no presentations this evening, so the first item of business is the disposition of previous minutes in our board packs. We have minutes from January 27th, our last meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved. Second.
By trustee Ara, second by trustee Posh. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ara.
Aye.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Micah.
Aye.
Hash.
Aye.
Moon. Carr.
All ayes, and those minutes are approved. Thank you. We will move on to reports of officials. First is that of the president. Just two quick items to report on this evening. One is a happy birthday. We celebrated his birthday this past weekend. And I want to say thank you to all the board members and officials who attended the West Central Municipal Conference Legislative Breakfast this past weekend. It was a very informative event, and we had great representation there for our village. So that concludes the president's report. On to the village administrator report.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'll try to keep my report short for everyone, but first off, I wanted to thank the Public Works Department. As everybody knows, we had a pretty significant snowfall last week. The department did a great job. They were out. It fell at probably the most unpleasant time of day, and they stayed on top of it all day, kept our roads safe. We received, I don't know that we actually received any real complaints. We received calls on a couple of areas that needed help, but nobody was, no complaints, no issues. They continued to move the piles this week for line of sight problems, things like that. So it's a great job. So thank your entire crew for us. The other thing I want to let everybody know is that I've been working, obviously we're at the end of my second week right now as village administrator. So there's been a lot of moving parts to get involved with here, but I spent a lot of time getting to know all of the staff, all the different departments. And I just wanted the board to know that you guys have a very, and you probably already know this actually, we have a very professional, very courteous group here at Willow Springs, and they have been extremely helpful, helping me get my feet wet and learn how things are done here in Willow Springs. So it's been a great adjustment, and I know that that'll continue. So thank everybody for that. A couple of things I've been working on in my time here. We've had a beautification committee, our commission meeting yesterday, and so we discussed a few projects that'll be coming up as the weather breaks. We had a police commission meeting last night. I'm sure the chief will touch on that and what happened there, but that was a very successful meeting as well. We had adjudication hearings Tuesday, I believe, and so those went very well this week as well. There's only a couple of matters that actually had to come before the administrative judge. Everything else was handled. We had a Willow Blend construction meeting and update last Tuesday. We're going to continue to monitor the progress of that project as the weather breaks. They're starting to move things along. They've poured some foundations, and they intend to work through the weather right now. But as the spring breaks, they're going to move a little faster. So they're working out a couple issues with the building department as well as with the water commission, but they expect to move quickly once the weather breaks. And then so that everybody knows, we secured about 1,000 KN95 masks from Cook County. They offered them to municipalities, and we did opt in and pick them up. So we'll be doing a Facebook post early next week on that, and letting residents know that if they'd like masks, if they're in need of any, they can come up to the village hall and we will supply them to the residents directly in that fashion. So that post will be getting out early next week. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Administrator Grace. Village Clerk Charles.
I have no report this evening.
Thank you, Village Engineer Dan Lynch.
No report.
Thank you, Village Attorney Eric Beck.
Thank you, Madam President. There are two items for consideration before the board this evening, and both of them are ordinances abating tax levies. And what this means is that the village finds itself in a very enviable position, as you have enough money in your general fund to pay the annual tax levy for bonds that were previously issued. So the first one is an ordinance 2022-0-02, abating the 2021 tax levy debt service on the general obligation refund bond series 2012B. So in 2012, the village took out bonds. There is interest and principal and interest owed on those bonds, and in this case, it's the amount of $391,256.25. If you pass this ordinance this evening, it will abate the collecting from the residents that amount of money because the village is going to pay for it from its general funds.
Thank you for that explanation, Aaron. And is there a motion to approve then ordinance 2022-0-02?
So moved.
By trustee Kennedy, second.
Second.
By trustee Posh, discussion. Roll call vote.
Trustee Yara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Hash, Moon, Car.
All ayes, and that ordinance is approved.
Thank you. The second item for consideration is also a ordinance abating a tax levy, and this time it would be in the amount of $551,050. So before you is a draft ordinance 2022-0-03, abating the 2021 tax levy debt service on the general obligation refunding bonds series 2017A.
Okay, thank you for that. Is there a motion to approve 2022-0-03?
So moved.
By
I'll
trustee
second.
Ara, second by trustee Micah, discussion. Roll call vote.
Trustee Yara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Hash,
Aye.
Moon, Car.
All ayes, and that ordinance is approved as well.
And there's nothing further under the village attorney report.
Thank you, Attorney Peck. Village treasurer.
Number or the iPhone?
Could be.
I can unmute both and just say.
Kelly Zabinski, treasurer, if you're on the line and you have a report, could you please unmute yourself?
I have no report. Good evening, everybody. Do you hear me? I'm sorry, I don't have a report.
Oh, she is unmuted. She should be able to talk now.
Kelly, your mic is unmuted now. Did you have a report?
Put a comment that she does not have.
Okay, no report. Thank you. Justice Willow Springs Water Commission. Mary Jane Manella.
Everybody. Okay, so nice to see everybody. For the 2021 budget, the Water Commission was 103% over revenue and 77% of expenses. So basically, we did very well on revenue, and the expenses are low because the High Tower project was budgeted for last year, and we didn't actually complete it, so it's going to be completed this year. But that's the reason that the expenses are so low. John Hefferly is retiring, and so we will be getting a new engineer for the Water Commission. The Water Commission has a new website. The M.E. Simpson Company, which is a company we contract every year to detect water leaks. So they found and repaired 8 leaks, saving the Water Commission about $276 a day, or $10,967 annually, which translates to the savings paying for the services of M.E. Simpson in about 5 months. So they pay for themselves in 5 months, and we end up with a lot less water loss. And this is a service that we do annually. So the High Tower contract has been signed, and the project is to be completed this year. The smart meter replacement program will be mostly completed by the end of March. We have had 85% compliance, which we are told by Kelly Metson Plumbing is quite nice. So the program is going along very well. And then the last item that I have is that once a year, the Water Commission likes to have one of their meetings before a board meeting here and in Justice. So we wanted to know what month of the summer you guys might like to do that. So somebody can get back to me with a date that you'd like to use for that meeting. Any questions?
About the smart meters, I heard that they were having problems, I think you even mentioned this last report or something about signals and trying to get readings from new meters or something.
They're working on,
I got a question now because of the bill and when the bill came.
no, that had more to do with our technology issues.
Okay.
Okay, that, yeah, I don't know. Smart meters. Have a problem.
Okay.
So, anybody else? All right, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will move on now to reports of standing committees, Finance and Administration Committee, trustee Ara.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to approve item 6A1, warrant 22-003, dated February 10th, 2022. Payroll expenses in the amount of $100,853.89. All fund expenses in the amount of $147,637.05 for a total of $248,490.94.
Okay, thank you for that. And you have made the motion. Is there a second?
1 second.
By trustee Kennedy, discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Hash,
Aye.
Moon, Carr.
All ayes and those warrants are approved.
Then I just wanted to draw your attention to the page after the warrants. That is our typical monthly income statement report. What you'll notice about that, and it's very typical from the reports I've seen in January. It's loading from this only $186,000, but in January that's typically what happens. The expenses are about average. It's $450,000 per month. So it's all very typical, but it's low. What you'll start seeing is that the revenue will start picking up in February, March, especially tax coming in, and so you'll see that number climb over through the year. And then beyond that, that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, trustee Ara. Public Safety Committee, trustee Kennedy.
I do have a report. Thank you. The police commission met this week and they're going to start a new hire list starting in March. They have a certain amount of applications they're going to take in. It'll be posted in one of the papers. I don't know if it's Plains Valley or whatever, but that's coming in March. And happy birthday, Keith. And other than that, I have nothing else. There's something else you'd like to say?
Very proud of our department's commitment and our volunteers and the community's commitment to Special Olympics, as we were presented to the Willow Springs Police Department for our outstanding financial support to the 2021 Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics, where we raised last year $12,217.09. So we got this nice plaque for present to hang in the police department and for everybody here that volunteered and my department and the community support. We thank you so much because Torch Run's such a great organization. We did well and very proud of that. And I gave the board our reports, incident reports for 71 for the month. Over the last couple of weeks, we've issued 110 traffic citations, handled 16 motor vehicle crashes. And one thing, again, I think many of you know, when I first came on, it was the goal of us to get an officer assigned back to the DEA task force. And for a year and a half, worked hard with the Department of Justice to become eligible back into the funds from the mismanagement from a previous administration on that. So we're proud to come back part of the system where we could receive equitable sharing funding, and proud to say back in January, due to these efforts and the great work by our task force officer assigned there, we were awarded a check for almost just short of $140,000, which is greatly going to benefit our police department and the operations and the equipment and everything. So again, thank everybody on the board for all the support with that. Without that, it doesn't happen. And we still have almost $100,000 in waiting. And a couple of weeks ago, our officers task force group, they executed a search warrant where they got 15 kilos of fentanyl, 4 kilos of methamphetamine, 1 kilo of heroin, and 1 box truck, which we seized on that. So hopefully we'll get about $25,000 out of that and the sale of that. The drugs that they got on that one were probably street value of almost $3 million. And then they had a stop yesterday where they got another 50 kilos of methamphetamine, which is about the equivalent of 110 pounds of that dangerous drug, and about 2,000 pills they got on that too. So the efforts that they're going through on their task force they're doing a great job. And again, it's proud to let you know that and all the success that's going on with that, with everybody's support. So thank you very much. And that's all I have here.
Thank you. Trustee Kennedy, anything further?
Oh, sorry, that concludes my report.
Okay, Municipal Building Grounds Committee, Trustee Michael.
Thank you, Madam President. I do not have a report tonight.
All right, Public Works Committee, Trustee Koch.
Thank you, Madam President. Before I give that report, I have a report from the Beautification Commission, and they want to let the residents know that the brick program is still going on up front, and the order forms are available, village website or at Village Hall. The bingo is getting closer now. That was canceled last month. It's going to be March 26th from 7 to 10. Applications for the gardening and Legacy Garden Park will start on March 1st. And you will be able to get that in the newsletter. That application will be in there or at the village website or at Village Hall. There is an opening for part-time job for seasonal maintenance. I believe Keith has had an application so far, and they're still accepting applications from the at the village or the village website. Paper shredding event will take place Saturday, September 17th. And I believe that is the one we're going to try to hold at the Metro Rock. So there'll be more information coming on the newsletter or on our village website. And their next meeting will be Tuesday, March 8th at 3:30 p.m. via Zoom. And my public works report is very short. Thank you, Keith, for taking care of the snow and your crew while I was out screwing around for 2 weeks. And Keith and I did go today. We purchased a new plow for the front of the gator. That's the one we used on Archer Avenue. We've gone through 2 of them, I think, in the last couple of years. So we upgraded this year to a better plow, and we'll be working on that tomorrow. So that is my report. Unless Keith has something to say.
No.
Thank you, Trustee Koch. License and Franchise Committee, Trustee Moon.
Thank you, Madam President. I have no report tonight. Unfortunately, it's been kind of slow. That is my report.
All righty, thanks, Trustee Moon. Building and Zoning Committee, Trustee Carr.
January normally tends to be a slow month for constructions. So we did this January also. We had 5 total permits issued for a total of $83,322 in job costs. Brought the village $1,899 per day. Going on, which building? So that's my report for this evening.
Thank you, Trustee Carr. Any old business? Any new business? Public comment? Do we have anybody signed up here in the hall?
No.
Thank you. Anybody on Zoom wishing to make public comment, please signify by using the raise your hand feature.
We have some.
Yes, sir. Your name, please. I don't think it's on. Yeah. Trustee R, if you could just check and make sure the mic is on.
Green light at top. Yeah, now it's on.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Stan Carves. I'm the resident here at the 300 building. I just wanted to see what could be done to help improve on the parking. Recently had an experience here with the phone app that tried to buy paid for parking, and then I realized that there was no overnight parking in my truck. There was no signs that would say so, so how would I know? The app doesn't tell you that, there's no parking, the signs that tell you that. But yet, I paid for it and ended up getting a $50 ticket, so I'm gonna appeal that, but we need to get some parking solution, maybe. Willing to pay the extra money if it was overnight, if it's possible. There's no, they still downtown Chicago, and it tells you you don't have to pay anymore after midnight or what have you. Glad to pay it. Those options and some kind of solution, where the metro can make some more money. I mean, they could probably double their income by letting people like myself. I have a guest like my son comes and out of town and spending the night. I like to have him spend the night where I get my $50 ticket. So I was maybe strategize put something together for the residents here who, like myself, I don't have extra parking. Needed a lot within my underground parking.
We can definitely work on a strategy. Thank you for your comment. I think it probably warrants a follow-up discussion if you wouldn't mind maybe coming into the hall at some point to discuss.
I'm gonna go to the police station tomorrow and turn in big work with my letter of appeal that's been notarized today. So hopefully they'll rescind it. I hope they would, because they're making some signs. I don't think it's fair for the residents. Assume we understand what the rules are, when the rules aren't in writing.
All right, thank you for your comments, sir. Any other public comment here in the hall? All right, then, if that closes public comment tonight, we are going to move to executive session. We won't be coming back after the day after executive session. So I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn into the executive session to discuss personnel. We have a motion by trustee Posh, the second by trustee Moon. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? This meeting is adjourned at 7:24. Thank you, everybody.
Missy, sorry, to rush your motion.